What's up, guys? Today on Rebels Off-Road, we are going to be doing part one of our trailer build series, and this is going to be a parallel series to the rest of our videos on the side-by-side and riding videos and stuff. At least I hope it will. A while back ago, I purchased a 26-foot trailer, and you may have seen it on one of the other videos or a glimpse of it, but it's a really nice trailer. It is made by Southern Trailers. Southern Utility Trailers, and it is a lightweight 26 foot. Mainly it's like a car hauler, but it's a 10,000 pound trailer, and so perfect for two side-by-sides. You know, in the future, if we ever go to a 4-seater or something like that, we'll be able to take a 4-seater and a 2-seater on this trailer, so it's perfect size for us. What this comes down to is I've already got the spare tire on it. That's fine. I already have dual trailer axle brakes. That's great. I have the rear stabilizer foot on there. All great, but we are going to be outfitting this thing for camping now. What are we going to be doing with it? Well, first of all, we got a rooftop tent, a Smitty built rooftop tent, the XL version, their Gen 2 version of tent that we are going to be putting on this trailer. And so what we're going to be doing to mount that tent up there is we're going to be building a platform up in the front of the trailer, and we're going to be putting it up high enough so that the front end of the side-by-side can fit under it, similarly to where it's sitting right now. And put lights up, water, probably put a fold-out table, all the goodies, all the fun stuff on the trailer for when we go on our long trips this year out to Hatfield-McCoy's, out to Tennessee, going back to out to Tackett and Windrock and stuff like that. So we want to have a nice convenient place to stay and camp out while we're on those trips. So that is the plan. So we're going to go ahead and take some measurements and see what we need to do for this frame. So first measurement we're going to do is how high up the frame is going to have to go. Actually, we're going to do how long the frame is going to be first. What I want to be able to do is I want to be able to open the side-by-side door and be able to get in while the frame is there, and I don't want to have to open it up and bang into the frame and not be able to get in and out of the side-by-side. But I also want to maximize the space under the frame, because with the rooftop tent, the plan is that kind of folds out and creates an awning, and then we can also attach more awnings out to the sides to create a covered area so we can hang out on the deck, which would be the trailer deck, and be undercover for rain and stuff like that. I also want to be able to potentially skin that frame in the future. I won't be doing that right now. It'll just be the rooftop tent, but if ever in the future we wanted to have like a covered kitchen area under there or something like that, I wanted to be able to do that. So basically I'm going to be looking at right here, have the side-by-side centered, and going to be looking to see at what point can I open the door, still get in comfortably. So I can get in comfortably here. I could probably squeeze in right here. So let's look down right here, and looks like if we put the post at this 5-foot mark, that is plenty of room to get in and out. So our measurement, our length on the frame will probably stick to 5 feet. All right. So then what we're going to do is measure from that 5 feet up, straight up, to make sure that the side-by-side will fit under it. Let's go ahead and get a rough measurement here. I already have an idea of how tall it needs to be. Okay, so it is basically 71 inches to the top. So we will just go ahead and round that up to 6 foot, maybe 6'1", since that's how tall I am. We'll go ahead and do 6'1", because if you're kind of tall and you're right at that height where it's above your eyes but not above your head, I don't want to be banging on the bottom of it all the time. So I'll go ahead and put it in at my height, which is 6'1", and so that will be the height of the the framework for the rooftop tent. So when the rooftop tent is on top of that, it will probably be somewhere around the 7 to 8 foot height off of the deck, which, let's go ahead and measure what that would be from the deck to the ground. About 2 feet. So that would be a total of 10 feet tall, which it's not that bad. I mean, that's in line with what a lot of enclosed trailers are. So I think those measurements are what we're going to be using. I am going to plan on putting a piece of angle here and bolting it to the channel on the side of the trailer. That way I'll be able to remove the framework if ever I need to. You know, if I go to sell the trailer or something like that, I'll be able to. So that will be the plan. So we're going to go ahead and go in the shop and start laying out the metal. Okay, so what I've purchased, and I got this actually from the Canam crew. Jesse hooked us up with this metal, really good prices. Check them out if you haven't. They build cages and all kinds of fun stuff like that, but they also are able to get metal like this. So I got basically 3 sticks of 1.5 inch square tubing, and it's the 120 wall, and that should be plenty for our build here for the framework. And then I also have this 1.5 inch angle, which is also 120 wall, or 1/8 inch thick angle, and that will be what we bolt the frame to the trailer channel. So I'm going to go ahead and lay out where we're going to be using this metal, because we're going to be bending a little arc in the front of it, and we're going to be using our tube bender to do that. And that's just, not really needed, but I think it would look better. And if we ever do skin it, it would look more like an enclosed trailer type of shape to it with that rounded off edge. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to go figure out what markings we need to do to get the proper bend, to get the height that we need and the length that we need. What we're probably going to do is go ahead and mark it out so that we get the height that we need, and then once we have it all bent up, then we'll cut it to the length that we need, and we'll just do it that way to save time. So one last thing I want to check is on the rooftop tent itself to make sure that it will have plenty of mounting room. And so this rooftop tent folded is 4 foot. So that'll give us a little extra room on that frame to mount other things. And so I think that 5 foot is going to be perfect. It'll work out perfect for us. We got the 6 foot of angle, so we'll just cut that down a foot and then we should be set. Now, the right way of doing this would be to take a piece of the tubing and bend it up as a little test piece, or the cheater piece is what we call it. I have that for our 1 3/4 inch tube. I'm not going to do it with this one because I don't see myself really using this type of tubing all that much, or bending all that much. I have this die for a project that I had many years ago that I haven't used it since. So it just so happens that I decided to use the 1.5 inch tubing for this. What I am going to do is I'm going to kind of just rough estimate how long the 90-degree bend will be based on the die itself. And then as you bend the tube, it is going to stretch that tubing out even more. So I won't have too short of a tube as long as I estimate this correctly. And I'm going to cut it a little long so I can cut it to length after the fact, and that will work for me. I don't really need to do a bunch of calculations or a bunch of test pieces and stuff like that. It'll honestly waste more tubing than if I just go ahead and cut it a little bit longer. So that's what I'm going to do. It's just one bend on each of this tubing. So essentially what we will do is on one side, the side that is being clamped, which is going to be on this side, we're going to mark off the tubing that sticks out of here is going to be our 5 foot. So what we're going to do is 5 feet subtract 6 inches, and we're going to add a little bit extra just to be on the safe side, but that will be the mark that we will make right here at the start of the bend. And then it will wrap the tube around this way, and then we will for sure at least have that 5 feet on the side that we are going to be doing as the length, or in this case it'd be the top of the rack. So I'm going to go ahead and fire up the air compressor. It's going to get loud in here. I'm going to go ahead and hook up the bender, chuck up the metal, and yeah, we'll get to bending. So here we go. That was actually perfect timing because I got it set up now. I'm going to show you what I am working with. So I'm going to measure from the start of the die. I don't know if you can see it in there. And then I'm going to pull it out, set it on 57 inches. And that is basically 3 inches short of the 5 feet that I want. And so why I picked 57 is because I know I'm probably going to get at least 6 inches more length from this bend. And so if I, go ahead and just do 6 inches, then I run the risk of it not being exactly 6 inches. I'd rather have it a little bit longer than too short because I can always cut it to length. So adding those extra 3 inches, and so that is basically where it comes in. So basically 57 inches from the die, I'll bend it, and then I will cut it to length on both sides. One side will be 6'1", and the other side will be 5 foot with the bend all accounted for. So just got to plug in the air to the bender, and then we're gonna start bending. Gonna go ahead and get my measure gauge guy tightened up as well. But this is a Pro Tool bender. You haven't seen it before. I built my cage with it. Gonna show a video on that once it's done. Still haven't had time to really finish that video up because I haven't finished the cage up. But gonna go ahead and knock out this rack so then we can do some camping. And then, we'll have probably a cage build video here shortly. Just haven't really had the time to finish that cage up yet, but have all the materials. So this is a good start, getting this camper set up going. And so we'll have more fab videos if you're interested. So let us know down in the comments if you're interested in seeing more fabrication videos like this. And we will continue to build them, when we have time. Well, not sure what's going on with my air ram, but I'm gonna go ahead and start doing it manually. That seems to be working, so I have to figure out and diagnose what's going on with it. But not gonna bother right now because I want to go ahead and get these 2 bends done. So lucky for me, the hydraulics are still working. Well, unfortunately, he can't get to the next notch, and the ram's throw wasn't going far enough. And so what I noticed was there was some fluid leaking out, and I'm gonna take a look at the ram to see where that fluid is coming from. But I have a suspicion that something is leaking from the ram, and that's why it's not getting the proper throw. It almost seems like it's coming out from around this, I guess it's a manifold? I'm not sure what it is really. But yeah, it's got some oil there. I'm not sure where it's coming from. So anyways, won't be able to finish bending this until I figure out what's going on with the ram. Might need to go get a new one, or might just need to tighten something up and add some oil. So we're gonna figure that out, and we will be back. Okay, so after bleeding and trying to burp the air out of it and everything like that, finally gave up on that jack. I'm just gonna use it probably for an engine hoist. It seemed to work in the vertical position much better than the horizontal position, and I still couldn't get the air to work. So went ahead and got a new jack from Harbor Freight, another one. Have it with the pump facing down, which is the best way I found to run it. And so we're gonna go ahead and cut this bent piece. I already bent this piece to 90 degrees using just the hydraulics of the old jack. Very difficult. It was leaking fluid everywhere and stuff like that. I think the seals are just gone on the old one. These are a little over 24 foot long, basically 24 foot and like an inch. So we can get the full 24 foot out of them with the cuts and everything like that. Taking away that material won't have any issue with it. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this piece because it's basically gonna be like 12 feet of material here. And then since it's 24 foot long, we should have enough, as long as I've done my calculations correctly, should have enough. So that is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and get that second piece out of the one stick. And so this is kind of what I'm thinking for the rack. These are the angle pieces, like I mentioned. This is the curved piece, so we have two curved pieces. If I can get that out of one stick, that would be awesome. Otherwise, you know, I'll use the second stick. But then these are gonna be 7 feet wide because that's how wide the trailer is. Roughly 7 feet, we're gonna have to cut it to fit as well. And then these are gonna be roughly 6 foot. So what I'm thinking is I can get these two out of one stick, and then if I do 2 of these, that'll be 14, and then one of these, that would be 20 feet. So I can get 2 of these and 1 of these out of the second stick. So I might just go ahead and get an additional 7 foot section and the 6 foot section out of the other piece. So basically 2 7s and a 6 out of both of the other pieces. So, and then that will also leave a couple feet for little bracing like this, which will help with extra stiffness, rigidity, and stuff like that. So I might add little corner bracing there. I might add corner bracing there, but the bend actually is pretty good corner bracing. I might add corner bracing down at the bottom as well. That's my rough plan. As long as I've done my calculations right, I'm gonna go ahead and double check to make sure I have enough material for both bends on one stick. Otherwise, I'm gonna go ahead and take out the 7 foot sections out of this one as well and do it that way. So I'm gonna check the measurements, but I think what we're gonna do is cut this one to length and then do the second bend out of that same stick. Perfect. Nice. This is going to be awesome. All right. So, good for this side. So I got 2 pieces bent up and pretty dang close to exactly 90 degrees on both of them. Actually, what I can do is I can prop this up when I go to the weld the brace support on there, so it will actually be 90 degrees exactly on both of them. But yeah, either way, gonna be very, very nice, close. And so gonna go ahead and trim down this one to the 5 foot to match that, and then going to trim down this one to, what was it, the 75 inches, I believe. I have to go back and check, but the 75 inches to match that. And then we will have two pieces bent, same size, ready to start on the framework, welding the framework together. So really excited about this. Coming along.
11 minutes later.
We got the trailer halfway into the shop. I'm gonna have some bad weather, I think, tomorrow, so we wanted to get the trailer in the shop so we can still work on it. Actually, the KRX towed the trailer up the little incline and into the shop, no problem. It was actually pretty impressive. This is a 26-foot trailer, and KRX pulled it fine. So if you need to move around stuff, KRX can do it. So what we're gonna start on now, though, is we are gonna go ahead and cut the angle to length. Gonna go ahead and bolt it up to the trailer, and then we are going to probably tack up these bent pieces to the other verticals. Got those cut to the proper length that we want. And then what we're probably gonna do after that is go ahead and cut the cross members for it, and actually gonna go ahead and tack it up on the trailer. So then we know everything is nice and square to the trailer, and it's a good angle and everything like that. So that's what we're gonna do. Then of course we'll be able to still remove it by unbolting the angle, but we're just gonna go ahead and build it on the trailer because we're not gonna be taking this off very often, I don't think so. So what I'm gonna do now, I've got these two cut to 65 inches, which is what we ended up going with. And then we're gonna go ahead and mark out where I'm gonna have to notch this, because I'm gonna have to notch this a few spots to get it to fit right for the D-rings and for the tire carrier. Go ahead and leave the tire carrier here. I was debating back and forth on moving it backwards, but I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it here for now. I can always cut it off and move it backwards later on, but I kind of like where that's at. I'm gonna go ahead and mark out where we're gonna notch, and then we'll use the cutoff wheel on our angle grinder to notch out those little spots, and we'll get this bolted up. All right, so the first spot is going to be for this little light thing, and so we're gonna go ahead and just mark. And there's a little gap here, so we're not going to cut it all the way up, but we are going to go ahead and notch it up a good little bit, and then so about like that is what we're going to cut out for that one. Here we have the D-ring, and we are going to go ahead and cut out most of this one. So going to go ahead and come over here like this, and out there like that. And then like that. So then we're gonna cut that spot. And then we're gonna come over here and we're gonna mark out around this spot. So this one also doesn't come up quite all the way, but we're gonna go ahead and cut out a good little bit of it. So for this side, all we have to do is mark off the spot for right here and the spot for the D-ring, and that's it, because there's no tire holder there or anything else. So we're gonna go ahead and do that just like we did over there, and we're gonna go ahead and cut it out.
A few moments later.
All right, so we got the notches all done. It's nice and flush. I had to bevel this one down and got the edges all cleaned up. Went ahead and clamped this one over here. Like I said, got this one knocked down as well. Went ahead and clamped it because I'm gonna go ahead and drill holes for the bolts that are gonna be going through there. Gonna be using 3/8 inch grade 8 bolts, which I have right here. They're 1.25 inches. Went a little overkill on it. Didn't really need 1.25 inches, I don't think, but figured why not. Got washers, lock washers, and grade 8 nuts, and probably gonna put some Loctite on it as well, just so they don't rattle loose. But got this one clamped up. Gonna go ahead and get them drilled out. Probably gonna do 5 bolts per side, just to be on the safe side. So, all right. So went ahead and cut the verticals for the other side of the tube, and got this one clamped up. Gonna go ahead and tack it. Want to make sure this one's on a flat plane though, so gonna be very careful when I go ahead and do that to make sure it's all on a flat plane, because we don't want any sort of twist or anything in our structure. Got this little tool right here that puts it in a 90. Also gonna make sure it's nice and flat in the plane, and gonna tack that up and then check it. Got some reinforcements here. Hey, getting the holes drilled for the frame rails here for the base, and I'm tacking up the second piece. Hopefully get it going together here soon. All right, so got the first frame. Gonna go ahead and tack it up there, and then we're gonna move this one in to make sure it's all square, and then we're gonna move the other side and then do the cross bracing after that. It's coming along. Got the angles all bolted on. We are making progress. Got that tacked up. Got the ratchet strap across it, just drawing it in. Got the 2 main hoops on, 1 cross member there. Probably gonna put the next one over there. What are we thinking, on the back, the very back?
Yeah.
Probably would be the next one. And then I am thinking we probably want to do cross bracing on the front, just to get some more rigidity. We do like 1 all the way across there, or we could do kind of gusset up these corners there, which would give it a lot of rigidity as well. I think it's probably gonna need some.
It's gonna need something.
Yeah, it's gonna need some gussets. Even if I just plate, like gusset,
Yep.
plate the corners, and then do a cross beam or something like that.
I don't think if you do a gusset style, yeah, if you go here to here, here to here,
Yeah.
same on both sides.
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna have to do the whole cross. I think
Yeah.
I think that'll, as long as you get down, down here,
Yeah.
you know.
Which we should have plenty of tubing for that. Got that whole section over there that we can use for gussets. That would be a good 2 for that. And then I'll have another section that same size off of this one. So yeah, I think that will be good.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, well, let's get the next one up. Okay, so the frame's almost done. Took a while, most of the day, but this is what we came up with. Had some bracing on all the corners, or most of the corners at least. Bracing up there. This one is going to be for the tent, and this one's going to be for the tent. And then that back one is just kind of to cap it off nicely. Obviously have the bolts Down here, the clamp on that angle iron that clamps the whole thing on. And it's pretty rigid. I mean, we're flexing the whole trailer now. Probably gonna add a couple, I mean, look at that. It's rocking the whole trailer. So probably gonna add a couple gussets up there. Probably gonna take it off and paint it another day. Put the tent on and start doing the rest of the accessories. But made a lot of good progress. Joe helped out a lot. And yeah, it's coming along. So basically have the rack all done. Got it all painted up in this hammered black. All but the base. I think I'm gonna go ahead and match the trailer on the green there, so I'm gonna have to tape that off to finish out the painting there. But got it all welded up how I want it. So I think it's ready for the tent now. May add a few gussets, probably not a whole lot, but basically that is, you know, the rack. And really excited with how it turned out. It's really rigid. Like I said, might just add a couple of gussets, but really the only thing I'm disappointed in is how much my help really helped. Really was kind of useless, honestly. I mean, you're old enough to hold a grinder. You know that? You made Joe do all that work. Useless. Help is hard to find. Thanks, Joe, for helping out. Little girl, I think, approves of the rack. You think that's pretty cool? What do you think? You like that? Yeah, that's where we're gonna be tent camping. I think she's excited to go camping. I am too. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe for more great content. We'll see you next time.
Live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I go by at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I feel the blood creeping up from the heathens.